This week we are going to answer the following. What if dragons weren't just a myth? Now before you start typing out comments about how dragons are totally real and they have been with us since the dawn of time, let me clarify. I'm not talking about dragons that live in our world. I'm talking about dragons from mythology, like Smaug from The Hobbit or Fafnir from Norse legend. Do they have any basis in reality? Let's find out. Hey, Andy, welcome to my channel. This is Dragon Myths, the real science behind a legend. Dragons in mythology often share common traits. They're typically gigantic, scaly, winged reptiles that breathe fire. But there are many different kinds of dragons. Sometimes they're wise and benevolent, sometimes they're vicious and malevolent, sometimes they hoard treasure, sometimes they get it, and sometimes they do both. Take, for instance, the dragon guarding the entrance to the lair in the movie How to Train Your Dragon. This dragon seems to be based on the wild Chernobyl mythos, where dragons were believed to have lived in the sea and were said to take the form of dolphins when they came up to air. This may have originated from mistaking a basking whale for a dragon, which wouldn't be too far of a stretch. Whales are huge, they're vaguely serpentine, and some species, like the narwhal, have a single horn on their head, which could easily be interpreted as a dragon's tooth. Sailors encountering whales off the coast of Britain would then bring tales of these ferocious beasts back to landlubbers who would then include them in their myths and legends. But the most famous dragons come from the Germanic and Norse traditions, like Fafnir from the Volsunga saga, who takes the form of a giant serpent and hoards treasure at the bottom of a lake. Or the dragon guarding the ring of fire in the German epic poem The Nibelungenlied. These dragons seem to have been inspired by discoveries of actual dragon bones. In medieval Germany, people unearthed giant fossilized bones and they thought they belonged to dragons, so they wrote about dragons. There are even stories of explorers finding dragons in far-off lands. In the 19th century, an explorer named Sir Francis Drake claimed to have seen a dragon in South America. In fact, he even shot at it, but his bullets just bounced off his scaly hide. Now, some believe that what Drake encountered was actually a kind of giant monitor lizard, like a Komodo dragon. After all, they are large, they are scaly, and they do kind of look like dragons. And there are plenty of giant monitor lizard fossils in South America, so it's certainly plausible. But there's another scientific theory for where dragon myths came from. A group of researchers led by paleontologist David Hone from Queen Mary University of London think that dragon myths might have actually originated from a misunderstanding of dinosaur fossils. According to their 2015 paper, ancient people found dinosaur fossils and they misinterpreted them as dragon bones. The idea that dragons live in water, breathe fire and they had wings all came from people interpreting certain features on their fossils. Take, for instance, the belief that dragons lived in water. People probably got this idea from the elongated shape of some fossils, which looked kind of fish-like, or perhaps they saw the holes for the attachment of the ribs and they imagined that the creatures must have had gills to breathe underwater. As for the fire breathing, this likely came from the red color of some of the Triassic meat-eaters like Sinosauropteryx, which may have gotten their pigment from a pigment called heme, the same stuff that gives blood its red color. The feathers on this dino might have also contributed to the idea of dragons having wings. According to the paper, this would explain why dragons are usually depicted as large, winged reptiles because dinosaurs fit the description pretty well. And it's not just the shape of the fossils, but the content of the fossils that might have inspired dragon myths. One piece of evidence is that people first started making dragon-like figurines around the same time that the oldest dinosaur fossils have been dated to. Another interesting tidbit is that most dragon myths seem to take place in mountainous regions, which may have been where ancient people first discovered dinosaur fossils. So what's the verdict? Could there really be a grain of truth behind all these fantastical dragon stories? Well, given the evidence, it's certainly possible. The idea of dragons seems to have originated from a combination of factors, including sightings of whales, discoveries of giant fossils and perhaps even a little bit of wishful thinking. After all, who wouldn't want to believe that there is a giant fire-breathing lizard somewhere out there waiting to be discovered? Thanks for watching. If you like this episode and you want to help us make more, please consider supporting us. And as always, remember to keep an open mind and question everything. There are no more dragons in our world, but that doesn't mean that they never existed.